I still remember the night as if it happened yesterday. When people talk about horror stories, most of the time you think they are just exaggerating. But this one was real. And if you are listening to me now, I just hope you never, ever take the kind of wrong turn we did that night. It was a late Friday evening in October. The sky was overcast, the air damp and heavy. 4 of us had decided to go for a weekend road trip. We were college friends, bored of the city and craving a little adventure. There was me, Daniel, the one usually stuck driving because everyone trusted my sense of direction. Then there was Ryan, my childhood best friend, always joking and loud, the type who made fun of scary movies. We had Chloe, a quiet girl with a camera always hanging from her neck. And finally, Alex, tall, strong, and stubborn. We packed snacks, filled up the gas tank, and headed out of the city, chasing the empty highways that stretched into the countryside. Our plan was simple: drive to the mountains, camp near the lake, drink, tell stories, and relax away from people. For the first 3 hours, everything went smooth. Music blasted from the speakers, Ryan kept singing off-key, Chloe kept snapping pictures out the window, and Alex argued with me about which route would be faster. We stopped at a diner, had greasy burgers, laughed until our stomachs hurt. None of us had the slightest idea that one small decision later that night would seal our fate. It started when we left the highway. The GPS app on my phone showed roadwork ahead, and Alex insisted we could save time if we took a side road. I hesitated. The road looked narrow and dark, but Ryan, always mocking, said, "What's the worst that can happen? We get lost for 10 minutes?" Chloe glanced up from her camera. "I don't think that road looks safe." But I gave in. After all, I was the driver, and I was tired of Alex nagging. So I turned the wheel, and we left the bright, familiar highway behind. The moment we entered the side road, I felt it. The air seemed heavier, the trees closing in from both sides. My headlights barely cut through the thick shadows. "Creepy," Ryan muttered with a grin. "I like it." I tried to laugh, but something in my gut told me we shouldn't be here. The asphalt quickly turned into cracked pavement, then gravel. The GPS lost signal. My phone went black. I tried refreshing. Nothing. "No worries," Alex said, stretching in the back seat. "It'll reconnect soon. Just keep going." So I did. Minutes passed. The trees grew denser, the road narrower. We hadn't seen another car in over 20 minutes. My fuel gauge showed half a tank, but it felt like we were driving into a different world entirely. Chloe whispered, "Did you hear that?" I slowed the car. "Hear what?" "Like something screaming." Ryan rolled his eyes. "Probably a fox or owl. Relax." But I had heard something too. Faint. A high-pitched sound carried on the wind. I pressed the gas again, pretending nothing was wrong, but my knuckles were white on the steering wheel. Then came the fog. Thick, milky fog that seemed to appear out of nowhere. My headlights reflected back at me, making it nearly impossible to see more than a few feet ahead. Ryan laughed nervously. "Wow, it's like a horror movie. Wrong turn, creepy fog. Next thing you know, we'll hit some abandoned gas station." Nobody laughed with him. After what felt like an hour, we saw a faint light in the distance. Relief washed over me. Maybe it was a house. Maybe someone who could give us directions. As we drew closer, we realized it was an old cabin. Wooden, rotting, with a single lantern burning on the porch. Chloe whispered, I don't like this. But Alex insisted we should ask for directions. I parked. The night was so silent I could hear my own heartbeat. Ryan hopped out first. "Hello?" he shouted. His voice echoed unnaturally through the trees. No answer. We walked up the creaking steps. The lantern flickered. I knocked on the door. It swung open slowly, as if waiting for us. Inside, the air smelled of mildew and iron. The place was dark, except for a single candle on the table. Dust everywhere. "This place is abandoned," I muttered. But Ryan pointed to the table. "Not abandoned. Look, fresh food." I froze. On the table sat a plate of raw meat, still dripping blood. Chloe grabbed my arm. "We should go, right now." And she was right. Every instinct screamed at me to leave, but Alex was already stepping deeper inside. "Hello? Anyone here?" he called. That's when the door slammed shut behind us. The sound was deafening in the silence. We all spun around. Ryan laughed nervously. "Okay, that's not funny. Who did that?" But none of us had touched it. The candle on the table flickered. The shadows shifted. Then we heard footsteps upstairs. Slow, deliberate, heavy. "Someone's here," Alex said, trying to sound confident. "Maybe they can help." But the footsteps didn't sound like someone walking to greet us. They sounded like someone waiting, circling. Ryan, still pretending to be brave, shouted, "Hey, we just need directions." The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then, with a loud creak, the ceiling above us groaned. Suddenly, a body fell through. It landed with a wet thud, right at our feet. Chloe screamed. I stumbled back. Ryan's face turned pale. It was a man, or what used to be one. His eyes were gone, his mouth sewn shut with black thread. His skin was gray and cracked. He looked like he had been dead for days, but his chest still rose and fell as if he was breathing. And then, it grabbed Ryan's ankle. Ryan screamed and kicked, but the grip was strong. Alex rushed forward, trying to pull him away, but the corpse yanked Ryan down with impossible strength. We watched in horror as Ryan was dragged across the floor towards the darkness of the cabin's hallway. His nails clawed the wooden boards, his voice hoarse with terror. "Help me! Don't let it!" And then, he was gone. Pulled into the shadows, his scream cut short. The silence that followed was worse than the scream itself. Chloe sobbed. "We have to get out." I ran to the door and yanked, but it wouldn't budge. No matter how hard I pulled, it was as if something on the other side was holding it shut. Alex grabbed a chair and smashed the window. "This way!" We climbed out into the night, the fog thicker than before. We stumbled blindly, hearing footsteps behind us, not just one set, many. Shapes moved in the mist, shadows of people or things shaped like people. "Where's the car?" Chloe cried. But when we reached the spot where I had parked, the car was gone. Only tire tracks remained. We had no choice but to run. The fog swallowed us. Branches scratched our faces. Every few seconds I heard whispers behind us, sometimes laughter, sometimes screams. Chloe fell to her knees, sobbing, "We're going to die here!" Alex pulled her up. "Not if we keep moving." But the forest seemed endless. No matter which way we turned, the path twisted back on itself. Then we heard Ryan's voice. "Guys, where are you?" We froze. It was Ryan, his exact voice, but we had watched him dragged away. "Don't," Chloe whispered. "It's not him." "Guys, please, help me." The voice came closer. I gritted my teeth. Run. We did. After what felt like forever, we stumbled into a clearing. In the center stood an old well, covered in moss. The fog swirled around it like smoke. Alex bent over, gasping, "We can rest here for a second." But Chloe shook her head violently. "No, we can't stop." That's when we heard it, a low, wet sound. Something was crawling out of the well. First pale hands with broken nails, then a head with stringy black hair, dripping from hollow sockets where eyes should have been. It pulled itself up slowly, jerking unnaturally. Chloe screamed. We all turned to run, but Alex tripped. Before I could grab him, the thing lunged, its hands wrapped around his throat, dragging him toward the well. He kicked and fought, his screams echoing through the forest. "Help me, please!" But I couldn't. I froze, paralyzed with terror. Chloe pulled me, forcing me to move. We watched helplessly as Alex's body disappeared into the darkness of the well, his screams cut off by the splash of water. And then silence again. Only Chloe and I were left. We stumbled through the forest, holding on to each other. My body ached, my mind numb. At last, through the fog, we saw lights, faint but real, a road. We ran toward it, tears streaming down our faces. But as we stepped onto the asphalt, I realized something. It was the same road, the same wrong turn. And parked there, waiting for us, was my car. But I had seen it disappear. Chloe whispered, "Daniel, don't." The driver's side door opened. Ryan stepped out. His eyes were black voids, his mouth stretched in an impossible grin. "Where are you going?" he asked in a voice that was not his own. Chloe screamed. The last thing I remember was cold hands wrapping around my throat, dragging me into the car. Chloe's scream faded into the fog. No one ever found us. Not the police, not our families. That road doesn't exist on any map. But if you ever find yourself driving late at night and you see a side road that looks too dark, too quiet, do yourself a favor. Don't take that wrong turn, because if you do, you'll never come back.